guys, and welcome back to my channel. For today we are going to be recreating this look right here. It is a super simple daytime glam. I also did include tips on how to change that daytime glam into a nighttime wear if you are going to be wearing it throughout the night also. If you want to learn all those tips and tricks, just keep watching. So I went ahead and primed and prepped my eyelids. If you do notice throughout the day or night that you are getting creases in your shadow, that is for the simple reason you are not priming your lids before you are going in with your shadows. You can purchase eyeshadow primers, however, I feel like concealer and a loose powder actually performs in the same way. To start off, I'm going to go in with the Jacklyn Hill palette as always. For my transition shade, pick up this shade right here, Pooters, or on any fluffy brush. And we are going to keep this in the crease. So starting in the outer corner and then bringing it in. And then once there's like basically nothing left on my brush, I just blend it out all over the lid and bring it up. So I'm kind of covering the whole lid, however, still staying in the outer corner, more so than bringing it all the way in. But since I do want to blend it out, I am gonna bring it down all over so there's no harsh lines. And we are gonna go ahead and do the same exact thing for the other lid also. So starting in the outer corner, bringing it up, and then all over the lid. Alright, moving along, I'm going to be picking up the ABH Norvina palette in volume 3 with the same brush I was using earlier, pick up B5. We are going to be sticking to the neutral shades throughout this whole video, and I will, near the end, show you how you can change that daytime look into a nighttime look with all those tips and tricks. So the same exact thing, keeping it in the outer corner, bringing it in, and just blending it all out together, but keeping most of the product in the outer corner because this will make your eyes look a lot more wide and awake rather than bringing it all the way in and just blending it all out. So the same thing for the other eye, keeping it in the outer corner. So I'm kind of like packing it on there and then blending it out. So you want to pack it onto the outer corner, and once there's barely anything left on the brush, then you want to blend it out. So with the same palette, I am going to be picking up this shade right here, D1, on the same brush. So I'm just going slightly darker in the shades, but staying to the same warm browns. So in the outer corner, pack it on there. And then once it diffuses, you bring it in and then up. So you just want to focus on having everything blended out beautifully. And if you feel like your shadows are going on chalky, it is because you have not set your eyelids with a loose powder or any powder in that case. You can even go in with a very light shadow, but just make sure you use a powder to set that concealer before you go in with your shadows, because it will be harder to blend out if you don't. So I went ahead, popped on my eyeliner and lashes off camera. We are going to move along with the face. We are keeping the eye look super simple, but I will show you near the end, like I said, all those tips and tricks how to turn this daytime look into a nighttime look. It's going to be super easy. So for the primer, I'm going to go ahead and pop on the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. I'm just going to take it onto my finger. Not too much, just a dab like that. And stick to just the T-zone more so than the rest of the face. So my nose area, under the eyes, and up forehead. So we're going to go ahead with the go-to foundation that I always use, Born This Way. I'm going to go ahead with a beauty blender and blend this all out. You guys should really try going a shade darker in your foundation. Once you try it, you may fall in love like I did. I feel like once I go ahead and pop up my concealer, highlight, and then my powders under my eyes just to make it lighter, brighter under the eyes, I feel like it looks a lot more natural. So when I do go ahead and use a foundation that is a lot more closer to my skin tone, I feel washed out and like a ghost. And we ain't trying to look like Casper up in this bitch. So I always use a brighter concealer for my chin, cupid's bow, and under my eyes and forehead. So this time, instead of using my go-to Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Fair, I'm gonna be using these MAC Duos. I got it made a while ago. I'm not really sure about the shades. They're under the little pan, but I really don't want to remove these to get the shade out. It's whatever you prefer and feel like suits your skin tone. Just go ahead, try them out. So I'm just going to take a brush, whirl it in there, and just stick to the cupid's bow as always. And just chin, and then cupid's bow, and then my forehead. And then right tight under my eyes. And I am actually going to use this, I'm going to actually use this to go in and somewhat contour my nose. So I'm going to bring it up my nose. So it helps with contouring it later in the video. And then just bring it a little down. And then same exact thing for the other side. I'm definitely going to need more product now. I'm like dropping everything. So same exact thing for the other side. I just picked up more on the same brush. It's a Morphe brush that I have. It's just a flat brush. And then bring it under the eyes. Really tight along there. I don't want to take it all the way. Just kind of keep it near the end of my brow area. And then bring it down the nose. So just a straight line down the nose because you want to keep that straight, that contour area. And then just bring it all down. I like to keep it tight along here just to get rid of that redness I do have around my nose. Starts to pop out during the night for sure. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer also in the medium tan golden. And just pop that on top. Just for a little more boost of brightness under my eyes because I really like a really bright eye. I feel like it gives it a lot more focus to your eyes. So to blend this out, I am going to use the same beauty blender I was using earlier. And this time I'm going to go in with the Versali Rose Gold Mist. So I'm just going to shake that. And this is very inexpensive compared to the Lila Bee I use. So I'm just going to go in with this and just tap it on the back of my hand before I do blend it out. Because I feel like it starts to wash away, but this gives it a boost of hydration once you are. So blend out that chin area first. And see how my foundation is getting lighter now. And then my cupid's bow. And now I'm going to be blending out my forehead. I like to have my concealer sit under the eyelids. Just for a bit because I feel like it does brighten up a lot more when it has been sitting there for a while. So it gives it a lot more brightness under the eyes. So we are going to now move along to that. And I haven't sprayed my beauty blender anymore. And it's still beautifully blending out. I feel like setting sprays when you spray them on your beauty blenders and then blend out your concealer or foundation or anything, it does give you that boost of hydration. If you are on the oily side, I say you even skip that step. But if you are dry, trust me, you are gonna love this method. And I want to bring it all the way up here. I feel like it's gonna give that cat eye effect. It's gonna pull everything like. So there you have it. Everything is blended out beautifully, and now my foundation doesn't look as dark as it did when we first started off. So now to set under my eyes, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to go in with the Kat Von D Contour Palette instead of the Maybelline Loose Powder I usually use. So I'm going to pick up this shade right here in the middle, Lyric, just on my beauty blender. I'm going to pick some of that up and lightly tap under my eyes. I'm not picking up any more product. I'm just going to move under the other eye. I don't want to put a lot of powder under my eyes today because I am going to be brightening it up quite a bit. So I am going to be going in with a second powder under my eyes. And for the overall face, I'm going to go in with the Veil Translucent Powder on the same beauty blender. I love using a beauty blender to set the powders into my skin. There's just something about powders just absorbing into your skin that I love. So I'm gonna set all this, and I feel like it gives it such a pretty skin finish look. So I went ahead and popped on, as usual, my brows off camera. I hate doing brows. So now we are going to move along to our lower lash line. We're going to stick to sort of the same colors as we used earlier. So instead of with the Jacklyn Hill palette, I'm just going to skip to the Norvina Volume 3 palette, and I'm going to pick up that second shade we used on a flat, fluffy brush because I like a real blown out lower lash line. So I'm just going to pick it up on that. And we are going to completely blow out the lower lash line. So starting from the end, and you can be, with the transition shade, messy as possible. It does not matter. Go low as you want. And then bring it all the way in also. And just keep doing that until it's all completely blended out. And once the product starts dying down, that's when I move lower and lower. And now I'm going to do the same exact thing to the other eye. So starting in the end and really tight along it. And then once it starts dying down the product, that's when I move it lower and lower, If at any point you feel like you brought it too low, I feel like this one's a lot higher, this one's a lot lower. You can go in with that beauty blender you were using. Don't pick up any product and just tight along there, just blend it out. It's gonna diffuse that, that shade down. And there you go. So now we are going to move in with the second shade we used in that palette. It was D1 on that same brush. I am not going to be changing my brush. So pick that up lightly. I just like barely brushed in there. And we are going to keep this more so in the outer corner. So I'm feathering it really lightly. I don't want to make it too harsh since we are more so focusing on a nice daytime look. And there you have it. And then the same exact thing with the other eye. So with the same brush, just brush it lightly along your lower lash line. Give it a little more pop of color. So I don't want to go too dark in the lower lash line. However, I'm gonna kind of darken it up. So I'm gonna go in with the Jacklyn Hill palette. I'm gonna pick up Mocha, this shade right here, on a small dense brush. So just swirl around in there, and I'm going to keep this just in the outer corner just to kind of give it a little more oof in the eyes. So just really tight along your lash line. So I've packed it on there, and then the brush we were using earlier, I'm just going to use that to blend it all out. Kind of diffuse the shade so it's not too harsh. So I went ahead and set down my nose. I've contoured and set down some baking powder. And as that is setting, I'm going to go ahead and bronze my face with the Tarte bronzer with a fluffy Morphe brush. I'm going to whirl it around there. And just bronze all along here. And we are going to clean this up, so don't worry. I just like a really nice bronzed out look. So I'm gonna pick up more and then bring it up to the forehead. So just along there, along your hairline. If you feel like you've got a big forehead, you can go ahead and extra bronze your forehead. It will make it appear smaller. If you feel like you have a small forehead, when you're going in with your concealer, just conceal your forehead a lot more wider and it'll make your forehead appear bigger. So I am going to bake under my cheeks, but I'm going to avoid baking under my eyes since that is where I tend to get a lot more dry. So I'm going to use the Fenty loose powder in Butter with a beauty blender. Pick up a good amount on that. And then I'm just going to cut along here and just clean it all up. So just like that. And just let that sit and do the same thing for the other side. So pick up a good amount on there, like so, and just cut along here. As that is all setting, I'm gonna take a smaller brush with the same Tarte bronzer we were using. I'm just gonna kind of darken out this area right here. So just go along there and just contour that up a little more. And then I'm gonna do the same thing for the other side and just darken up this area. Just go along my forehead also, so just here. Even during the winter time, I really like a very tanned out look. Summer tan. It's like a summer tan all year round. So with just a small brush, I'm gonna wipe away my nose contour, but I'm gonna let the one under my cheek sit for a while. So wipe that away, and there. Snatched. So as that is still setting under my cheeks, I'm gonna go ahead with the Jacklyn Hill palette, Flare, in the Flare. So I'm gonna pick up this shade right here. Sorry, the lighting's real bad. The shade right here, just on a small brush, and just highlight my nose. So I'm gonna start just in here. So I'm gonna like highlight this area right here. This little denty area between your eyes. I'm gonna highlight that. And then I'm gonna bring it down to this. So I'm gonna skip that, and then I'm just gonna bring it down on the bridge of my nose. Bring it down on the bridge of my nose. And then just hit the point of my nose. So I literally went dot, down, dot. And then I'm gonna use that same shade just for the inner corners of my eyes. So I'm just gonna hit it right in here and kind of bring it up so it blends out nicely. I don't like that chunk of highlight just sitting on the inner corner of your eye and it doesn't look blended out. So I just kind of bring it up and then blend it all together. Even under, just bring it down under here, kind of like a V. Same thing for the other eye. So just hit this part because that's where I want most of the highlight, in the inner corner, and then blend it out under and right in this area. So I'm gonna also do under my brow bone with that same shade. I'm just gonna hit along here and blend it all out. So just along the brow bone, and then I'm gonna do the same thing for the other side also. I feel like this really makes your brows appear higher and a lot more arched. So for my inner waterline, for my lower lash, I'm gonna go in with a nude pencil. I feel like a nude waterline for a daytime look is so incredible. It really makes your eyes look wide and awake. So this is, sorry, I don't know what shade this is called. It is from Pink Orchid. I'm not sure which shade it is called. I think Birthday Suit. I think it is Birthday Suit. So I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna just drag that along my waterline. So just in here. And this is gonna give it a real awakened look. So there you have it. Your eyes look a lot more wide and awake. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same exact thing to the other eye. Just along there. And I am gonna go in a second time because I do feel like it may wash away throughout the day. So I'm just gonna go in a second time just to make sure it's all set. And now it is not gonna move. So that area has been baking for a while, so I'm just gonna wipe it away with a brush. I love wiping away baking powder. I feel like it makes the look come so together. It's like everything's coming together. I feel so pretty. So just wipe all that away. Brush it off. And there you have it. So now I'm going to go in with the same Fenty powder I was using for to set under the thing with the same brush. I'm just going to pick a little up, barely any. Barely any. Tap off any. I don't want a lot. And then I'm just going to swipe it under my eyes. Because I want it bright. I want it really, really bright under the eyes. So just swipe it along there. And do the same exact thing for the other side. So barely anything. And just set it under the eyes. Alright, so once you're done everything and you feel like your skin is looking slightly dry, maybe crepey or a little too powdery still, setting spray is going to be your best friend. My go-to setting spray is the Morphe setting spray. I feel like this marries everything together and makes everything look blended out beautifully. So I'm just going to go ahead and spray my whole face down with this. So completely spray it down. Continue looking down because you don't want to cause any creases in your shadows, especially since we stuck to matte shadows throughout the whole thing. If the setting spray is still a little damp and you tend to look up, you will cause those creases in your shadow. And it's not going to look pretty. So my face is still semi-damp. I'm going to go ahead with my beauty blender and just blend everything out and kind of push that setting spray into my skin. And this is the last step. And it's going to marry everything so beautifully together. I can't believe this. I actually almost did forget to put on blush, the very important part. So I'm going to go in with Melba. Is my normal routine, blush routine. Just hit the apples of your cheek slightly. I just feel like blush makes you look super girly. It's kind of like, I don't know, I feel like when I see people on the streets, they have a full face of makeup on and they aren't wearing any blush. It's like you're missing something. You are definitely missing something. Blush just gives you that feel, you know? So off camera, I went ahead and applied my lip. I decided to go with the ombre lip. To create this lip, I used a chocolate MAC lip liner in the shade, I think it's Chestnut. Yep, Chestnut, in the shade Chestnut. And overall, my lip, I used the Anastasia Hudson liquid lipstick. And then for right in the middle, to create that pouty look, I used the it was the Kim Kardashian and Kylie Cosmetics, they did a collab together in the shade Kimberly, just for the middle to create that extra pouty look. And there you guys have it, the finished look. In order to make this into a nighttime look, there are only two things that I would go ahead and change. Instead of the nude I used in my waterline, I would use a black or a darker liner for that. And for my lip, I would probably go in with a burgundy or a red lip, depending on what look you are trying to go for. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below because I would love to hear what kind of future requests you guys do have. Thanks for watching.